We're going to talk about Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Um, I'll say this about the Bucks have not had a good season. I mean, I know they're the number 2 seed in the East right now, but I think they're like a half game up on the Knicks. The Knicks are right behind them to get the second seed. Giannis messed up his knee the other night against Boston, and he will be out for the rest of the regular season and will be day to day heading to the playoffs. I'm pretty sure he will play game one against whoever they face, but that's not good. You don't want to go
Real
into
quick,
go ahead, Dante.
it was his calf. I
It
got
was
to
his calf.
produce a moment. It was his calf.
Oh, thank you. That it was his calf. So his calf injury. And that's going to be something that's coming to playoffs that you don't want to deal with, especially with they have not had a good season. They fired Adrian Griffin, hired Doc Rivers, who has been way worse than Adrian Griffin. Which, of course, that doesn't matter if you lost the locker room, and obviously that they lost the locker room. Well, at least Adrian Griffin lost the locker room, so you got that. But I do think this opens up a lot of doors in the Eastern Conference now. I think a team that I'm looking at will be Philadelphia, with them being in the playing game. Not to say that's a great position for them, but they have a chance to make a run here because of Miami. I know Miami can do the we don't care about the regular season and they just turn up in the playoffs thing they've done the last couple of years. I'm not falling for it this year. Jimmy does not look like himself. This isn't regular season or we're just trying to get to the playoffs type Jimmy. No, Jimmy just doesn't look like himself anymore. I don't know if he's falling off, but he just doesn't look like the guy. And they don't look like they have the on switch anymore to have that. And there's no other team outside of Boston that I really feel like they can 100% lose to. So I think this is a massive injury for them. And I'm really interested to see how they're going to play this because you also got to know that both Dame Lillard and Giannis are not on contract extensions. Not Dame, but Giannis is 100% came out and said that, he's taking it year by year and he will leave if he has to, if he doesn't feel like this organization is dedicated to winning more championships. And we all know Dame hates Milwaukee. I mean, he's pretty much said everything besides the actual words, I hate Milwaukee. I mean, the nigga came to Chicago to watch a Bulls game just so we get out of Milwaukee for a couple hours. So we know that 100%. But Dante, what you think about Giannis' injury and how you think this affects the Eastern Conference landscape?
I think this is huge. I think if a lot of people, I know we forget shit real quick, but before KD tore his Achilles, he had a strained calf, and he rested for 4 weeks, and he came back, and they said he was ready to go. And midway through the first quarter, his shit popped. So, this is a very, very serious injury. Some people they got to take precautions with because without Giannis, they're not winning anything, and they know that. And the last thing you would want, or we would want as fans, is for him to go down as soon as he comes back. So I think this is something you got to take into take your time with. And I don't think they can, like I told you I think coming out the East, but this just sealed it for me. Once he went down and pinched at his Achilles, which we see a lot of people do that when they strain their calf. That's something you don't want to see. And I know we've seen Giannis hyperextend his knee and come back, and sprain his ankle, look like it's broken. He come back, so he is a young guy, still in great shape. So we'll see how his body responds. But for me, I think that was a very serious injury, and I think it's definitely going to impact the playoffs.
Mike, man, what you think about this Giannis injury, man? You think it changes anything in these?
Yeah, just like Dante said, I remember when it happened. I'm like, man, isn't that what happened with KD? And then they rushed him back, and his Achilles popped. I don't think he should play the first round. I honestly don't. And if they're the 2 seed, and if Philly could stay in that, Philly's not a regular 7 seed. They just didn't have Embiid for the whole time. They're definitely losing to the Sixers without Giannis. And even without a fully healthy Giannis, they're losing to the Sixers. Have you seen the Bucks play? They look very, very bad. Even with Giannis there. And Doc Rivers just get a lot of chances. And it's just crazy when people talk about Doc Rivers, they get so sensitive. Like, oh, he won that ring. That Boston Celtics team, I swear to God, you would think they won like four rings in a
You
row.
thought that
Like,
dynasty.
yeah, I swear. And Doc Rivers is getting a lot of passes. Then when you say something bad about Doc Rivers, all he did that he's done a terrible job. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about the losing the locker room with Adrian Griffin, but like he just lost the chemistry or whatever the outlook of basketball that Milwaukee was working with for the last few years. Even with Coach Bud there. But losing Giannis, that's huge. Like I said, I don't think they would be in Boston anyway. They don't look good going into the playoffs. But that injury with him, he should not rush it at all. If it's if it's another team, say like if the Bulls could get 7 or something like that, possibly, saying you could beat them. But if it's Embiid or anything like that, or another tough team, they're cooked. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he should come back. I don't think he should come back that first round, to be honest with you. I hope I'm wrong, but I can see something possibly happening. And like you said, KD had what, 4 weeks off? And they try to rush him. It's only 2 regular season games left, and something like they'll be done.
Yeah, calf injuries are you don't want to play with them things, man. Those can lead to an Achilles very, very quickly. Tosa, man, what you think about this injury? Do you think like Michael saying that this opens the door for maybe a Sixers or another one of those bottom level teams?
Injury or not, the end of the day, the Bucks coach is Glenn Doc Rivers. So they weren't doing anything with Glenn as their coach, man. Like, no offense to Glenn. I mean, like, Glenn reminds me of Marvin. What's the Bengals old coach again?
Marvin Lewis.
Yes, he reminds me of Marvin Lewis. Like, that is the black privilege we need in this day and age.
Yeah.
That mid and just still getting gigs after gigs. So that's why I respect Glenn, because he can still get a job. He's not that good, but respect to you, Glenn, for still getting the bag. But at the end of the day, they weren't going to do anything with Giannis being injured or not. I think that they should definitely sit him because, like you said, Mike, that's the same thing that happened to KD, and he popped his Achilles. So I think it's just best if they just call it a season and just try to regroup next year, because it's not looking good for them with or without Giannis. So tough luck.
Paper on this player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna